That's the number one, the $1 million question is, what the heck are these Bills going to do at pick 30? All right. Now, before we even get into this, Joe, I have to ask you this as a senior analyst, and you're looking, this is what you do. This is your bread and butter. You do this in your sleep, right? How much when analyzing what the team is going to do, obviously in the Bills, that it's what you think that they're going to do and what you think the Bills are going to do. How hard is it to kind of like move away from what your personal feelings should be, that what they do, and what you think the Bills is going to do? Because I find it as a fan, I'm like, man, I would do this. Yeah, but that's me. What is the team going to do? So how do you, as a professional, figure those things out?
You study trends as best you can. You try to be aware of the types of players and in schemes and what fits both the organization and the scheme, and do the best you can. But I mean, at the end of the day, the best mock drafters in the world maybe get 10 or 11 picks right every year, 12, 13, maybe if you really do well. Most people get less than 10 correct. So nobody's good at this. Nobody's good at making mock drafts. So it's challenging. I mean, making predictions is hard about the future, right? Like it's not easy to do, especially when there's dominoes. Like if you predict one thing to happen and it doesn't, well, it sets off a domino effect that throws off your entire mock draft. Last year with the offensive tackles, we knew 5 were going to go in the first round, but we didn't know what order they were going to go in. So If you didn't have Andrew Thomas as the first one to the Giants, your whole thing was screwed up. So it's challenging. I don't pretend to be good at it. And I don't think anybody is, but you try to do the best you can, have a good process and how you get to conclusions and go from there. Wonderful.
So I'm going to put you on the spot. The Buffalo Bills are at the podium, and the pick is in with the 30th pick in the 2021 draft. The Buffalo Bills select.
Man, predictively. Man, there's a lot weighing on what I say right here. I feel the gravity. Oh man. Okay. Well, man, I wasn't prepared to answer this until like the day before the draft. So
you don't have to, if it's part of your thing that you don't have to.
No, I still have a lot more to learn. You know what I mean? Because the mouthpieces, I'm getting some information. I've heard some things.
Okay.
But I don't know what I'm buying quite yet. And I know that's terrible. Like everybody probably wants to hear what I have to say.
People are like,
I'll give you if today was the day before the draft and I had to make a prediction.
Okay. Fair.
My prediction is that the Bills would draft Elijah Moore, wide receiver, Ole Miss.
Now, this is if the draft started tomorrow, folks. He's not saying that's what the Bills are going to do. Is if the draft started tomorrow.
Unless they do, Rico, then you pull this video clip and you broadcast it from everything you have. On April 6th, I told you what happened. So
Elijah Moore. I'm being
predictive.
You're being predictive. Now, what is it about Elijah Moore that maybe people don't know about that they should start to do homework on Elijah Moore?
Well, Elijah Moore, I think, in terms of skill set, is a mix between Emmanuel Sanders and Cole Beasley. And I think stylistically, he's exactly what the Bills like at wide receiver. Guys that are dynamic route runners with some speed and really consistent with their hands. And he gives them some yards after a catch. He plays bigger than his size. And I think you watch this Bills evolution at wide receiver. You remember the guys that Brandon Beane initially had? Andre Holmes and Kelvin Benjamin and these big towering wide receivers.
Absolutely.
There's been a fundamental shift, right? In going after John Brown and Cole Beasley and Steph Diggs and getting these dynamic Emmanuel Sanders, dynamic route runners. Size is an afterthought. They want guys that can get open and catch a football. And I just think right now, like I said, as of today, predictively, I'm not saying that'd be the pick I would make.
Totally understand.
Predictively, and for a reason, I say Elijah Moore.
This clip will be cut just so you have it and just so you know. It will be put out there. So if you're right, boy, oh boy.
But only if I'm right, Rico. You bury this. If this doesn't happen, you bury this in the ground and nobody talks about it.
It's out of here. Zach, what do you got? What do you have? What do you see, or what do you predictively feel the Bills will tend to gravitate towards in this draft?
Got to get that draft music.
Looks like Eric Wood is
the Buffalo Bills have traded the 30th pick.
Oh, shoot.
To fill in the blank. I just think that there's so many teams right now that are desperate. And I think as the draft unfolds, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate a guy like Joe, who's tapped into this infinitely more than I am.
100%.
Saying, I don't know anything, because that is ultimately what the draft is. Because if everybody knew something, the drafts would not unfold the way they have. Look at the Jets. You and me were talking off air, Rico. 7 straight first-round picks are no longer a New York Jet.
Tough.
I mean, come on. And these are guys who are getting paid millions to do it. So the fact that Joe's saying that makes me feel a lot better about myself, because I go into this saying, God, I mean, you could go this way, you could go that way. But what I keep coming back to is I look at that 30th pick and how many teams would benefit from trading up to get a guy that they think they need. When the Bills look at 30, is there a guy that they look at indefinitely, knowing how many things have to happen for their guy to fall to them, that they say, I need that guy at 30? Whereas they can acquire more stock, trade down not too far back, but far enough back where they acquire more stock and perhaps still get the guy that's on their radar. So if I were to just take a random roll of the dice and guess, I wouldn't blow my mind if the Bills trade down and work at the draft that way. I think that they can still get guys that they're eyeing while also trading down.
You went with the safe trade down pick.
I did.
Pick a player, Zach.
Yeah, you went.
Oh my
player,
God.
damn it.
Right.
They traded back and got who? I went on record. You got to go on record,
You
brother.
did right. You
All right,
tell
I'll go
me,
on
Joe.
record. All right, man. Now I'm understanding where Joe is coming from. Where he's like, damn.
Well, listen,
There it is. The
let me
weight. It's right there.
Let me give Zach time to. You know what? I'm not going to give you time. We didn't.
No, you didn't give Joe time. Or Joe.
I just kept on talking
he's
until
right.
I convinced myself of what I was going to say.
Yes. Although I gotta say, when Joe laid that out, man, that I did not come into this even thinking wide receiver would be.
Stop stalling.
I am stalling. I gotta give credit where credit's due, because I didn't think of it, but now it's all I'm thinking about. It's like somebody mentioned in the comments, I know I'm stalling, but tweet wide receiver like a ball pen in baseball. I thought that was genius. All right.
With the 30th pick.
This is what I want, because this is what I want. And it also could happen, but this is what I want, because I am a guy who enjoys the hell out of Bill's Twitter, because I just love it. I love it. And everybody gets all riled up, and I want to have a couple beers, sit back and watch Bill's Twitter explode when Goodell walks out there and drafts Najee Harris. That's what I want. I want, not only do I want it for that element, but I'm interested to see what would happen if they went that route. I'm interested to see what would happen to the run game if they spent a first-round pick in that department. How much more would they focus on it? How much more would things change? But selfishly, I would love to see it just to watch Twitter go on fire. I think it would be hilarious.
Let me not waste time and
All right.
talk all
You've
this
had
like
all
a
the
thing.
time listening to us, Rico. Come
Me and
on,
Joe
Joe.
are just like,
You're
yeah.
ready.
I did have that. So for me, and I hate to give out my stuff, because I have a contest with my man Bobby and Pierre, and we do a mock draft, and I'm about to give away my pick right now, but I don't give a damn. I'm still gonna win it. I'm going with cornerback from Syracuse, that African warrior, Malafonwu, Afaiti or Afautu Malafonwu. Boy, if we get that long, lengthy, don't give a damn, go in the dirt and tackle anybody that's around and can still cover, and you put him next to Trey White, boy, oh boy, forget about seasoned vet. You're going to find a fountain of youth that Jerry Hughes is going to find. My man Mario Addison is going to find that, and even AJ Epinesa is going to get in on the action. You find yourself a lockdown corner at the number 30 spot with Malafonwu from Syracuse, and he's I mean, you guys already know him because he's in that area. Yo, we good, man. Now you get after that quarterback. Now Milano's looking like a G. Now you have Tremaine Edmonds looking like a monster. Listen, that corner changes everything. You get yourself a lockdown corner, it's game over. Now Bobby over here spying on what I just said, but that's it for me. So Joe went with receiver, right? What was Elijah Moore?
Elijah Moore.
Z-Bot wants.
Hey, and by the way, what Joe said, clip this out when the running back's drafted so I can have my field day.
Yeah, I got you. I got you.
And watch it all burn.
And I'm going with I Fight To. Is that what his name is? I Fight To at Malafonwu. And we're gonna see how that goes, man. Listen, we could be completely wrong, or one of us is on the money and we got it, and we're gonna pound the chest and say we got this. But anyway, folks, that's it for us. Joe, before we get out of here, let people know where they can find you, what you have going tomorrow, because I know you have something every single day, which I have to give you mad props because that is tough in itself. I don't know how you do it. Respect to you. But what do we have going for you tomorrow?
Well, thanks for having me. First of all, this was a lot of fun with interacting with both of you guys.
Appreciate it.
The best way to find me is on Twitter at the Joe Marino is the draft handle, is the Twitter handle. Work at thedraftnetwork.com. Also host 2 podcasts, Draft Dudes and Locked On Bills. They're daily. So if you want to hear the NFL draft and all of football, we got you that covered on Draft Dudes, and then Buffalo Bills specific on Locked On Bills. And tomorrow on Locked On Bills is Herd Mentality. It's a Q&A type podcast where I dive into a lot of different topics and even more analysis on this run game stuff where I give some percentages regarding zone and gap running. So check that out tomorrow.
Listen, Zach, we got a show tomorrow. What are you doing tomorrow, man?
We do. Follow me at ZachB22 on Twitter. And then Smoke Break, brand new tomorrow. I'm diving in to Sam Darnold going to Carolina as we continue to watch the AFC East just run around like chickens with their head cut off. Get into that and my thoughts on what I think the Jets should have done, because I'm in the camp and I'd love to get, I know we don't have a lot of time, but I was in the camp that the Jets were going to trade down, and that's obviously not the case. Carolina's starting over with Sam Darnold, and I think that Sam Darnold still has yet to show how good he really is. So tune in tomorrow for that, and I'll continue to talk about Najee Harris at 30 and get Bill's Twitter all riled up for that too. But that's on Buffalo Fanatics YouTube channel as well, right where you're at.
I like it. Well, listen, my man Bobby says, I pray we don't draft I Fight To, I think his name is, simply so we don't have to hear Rico pronounce his name. I butcher everybody's name. My goodness, man. So if he gets it, you better believe I'm going to make sure I know how to say his name properly, because I will gloat all year long that I got it right.